Hello, and welcome back to Tangents with Grace. I'm Grace. This is Lincoln, and he's apparently a regular now. I am so thankful to have you here with me today. Today, I wanted to dive into stewardship. And are you good stewards of what you have? It has been something that's been popping up for the last few days, probably a week now. And I really just wanted to address that. I wanted to just bring up this topic because I feel like it's not talked about a whole ton, at least not in my circles. I haven't heard a lot of it. I hear it every once in a while, but it seems more like a topic that people want to avoid. And so coming off of, I just finished filming the last episode for the alignment series and talking about the habits and all of that. But coming off of that, I just thought this is a good one to just jump into next in discussing where are you taking care of your things at and where are you not taking care of your stuff. And that can be anything. That can be items, that can be animals, that can be so many things. It can be whatever it is that you have in your possession, essentially. How are you taking care of it? And how are you being a good steward in that? So what comes to my mind is, and what's been popping up lately over the last week or so, especially, is two things. One is the animals, like the animals that I have, animals that friends have and stuff. It's been a comment or topic, I should say, that keeps coming up about how you take care of your animals and people judging that and all these things. But there has been some legit situations that have come up that are literal, legitimate neglect of animals that we've been hearing about. Some friends of mine and we have been hearing these different stories where people, they're not feeding their animals. They're not, basic stuff. They're not giving them enough water in a day. They're not tending to health concerns. Oh my goodness. So a friend of mine works at a vet's office, and there's stories there of people that are just not showing up properly for their animals. And it's such a sad thing to see. And so, but this is where the stewardship topic comes into play. So it may not be an animal. Maybe you take amazing care of your animals. Maybe you love your animals and you dote on them and they get the world. But maybe it's something else. So that's where the second thing that keeps coming up over the last week is people's properties. I've been hearing about different renters who are destroying people's homes, destroying them. And I'm sitting here thinking, how can you do that with a clear conscience? How can you not do your very best to not only keep the property in as good, if not better condition than what you received it in? That to me is good stewardship. Now, I'm not saying go remodel their house and make it amazing, but I am saying keep it clean. Don't slam the cupboards and break them in half, is what I just heard. They broke a ton of cupboards in half. They even broke a door in half on this one property. That takes some serious slamming to break a door in half, or even kicking. I mean, seriously, how do you break a door in half? That's nuts. I mean, it wasn't completely snapped, but it was for sure cracked down it. You had to replace the door. So these are the kind of little things. Where is it that you can take care of somebody's stuff as good, if not better, than you would take care of your own things? Another example is that somebody was borrowing somebody's trailer and they were taking care of it, and they took care of it better than they would take care of their own things. They made sure it was kept clean. They made sure that everything was greased and well taken care of. They went above and beyond, and just to make sure that it was all good and well kept. And in this instance, it was us with a friend of ours way back before we ever had a horse trailer. Before anything like that happened, we borrowed a friend's livestock trailer to move our horses with, and they hauled flowers in this trailer. And so they were a really big flower grower, and it was actually really neat. They had these they're not daffodils, whatever, the name of the flower just escaped me, but anyway, they're really pretty flowers. Dahlias, that's what it is. really beautiful dahlias, and they would go to like fairs and shows and all the things. Well, anyway, so we ended up, when we had possession of that trailer, we have horses in there. They're going to get manure in there. Like, they can't have their flowers getting manure on them. Like, that's not show worthy. That's not, you know, like, that's gross. And so while we had possession of it, which we would just borrow it for like a few hours and we would take it back, and part of that few hours was just cleaning it and making sure that marks that were on the walls or whatever was completely clean. We soaked it down, we pressure washed it, and we would return it to them. And they had these like tire covers and stuff that had to go on the tires, and I would sit there and I'd clean the tires and I'd make sure that everything was like perfect and grease like the hitch and do all the things, do the brake check, lights check, make sure the lights were all working properly. We never did have to replace a light, but if we did, we would have, if we noticed one went out. And this is called good stewardship of somebody else's property. I mean, so not only do you take care of your own stuff, like you wouldn't let your phone get run over by a car on purpose. I mean, I know there's accidents, but like you wouldn't let your phone get destroyed. Like, you would take care of your phone. Your phone is like your lifeline these days. Well, it's the same philosophy that should be applied to everything you have. Take care of it. Do your very best. Show up in a way that others are not necessarily showing up. Make sure things are cared for. Make sure that you are diligent in the little things. And that comes back to scripture, that if you can show that you are responsible and take care of the little things, God will then give you the big things. So if you're believing for a house, are you taking care of your current house? I just had somebody pop up in my feed that is living in the projects, like horrible space of life to live in. They have gunshots going off all the time, but they tend to their home. They keep it so pristine, and they treat this home as though it's like a bazillion-dollar mansion, because they're believing for their home one day. They're believing for their beautiful home. And if they can't take care of what they have now, how can they expect to have that beautiful home one day? And so that's where I just wanted to challenge you and bring it up, because again, I just don't feel like it's talked about enough, that we need to be good stewards. We need to show up in ways that not only glorify God, but also make ourselves, I'm not quite sure the word. I mean, it's not really a proud thing, because this isn't, you know, pride comes before the fall, but there's also a different version of pride. That's a whole nother tangent thing. But just showing up for yourself, that you are reliable, that you are a good steward, it builds this confidence in yourself. And I'm not really sure, again, how to describe what this is, but it really builds you up in a way that you otherwise wouldn't be able to be built up. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. And I just thank you so much for joining me on this. And I just really challenge you to evaluate if you're a good steward or not. And if you are, where are you good at? What are you good at? Like, what are you good at doing? What do you do that goes out of your way for the stewardship? And it doesn't have to be of borrowing somebody else's stuff. Are you a good steward of the money you have? Do you give to charities? Do you give to programs? Do you give to people you know personally? You know, that's something else that's not talked about much. That's a whole nother tangent that I'll go into some other day. But are you giving? Are you a giver? And are you giving in good soil? Are you giving to legitimate places, or are you giving to these fluff things that you don't even know where the money went? That's been the big thing in the news lately, is where did the money go for these fires from California? You know, all that kind of stuff. So are you giving to a good place, or are you giving to a place that doesn't manage their money right, who is not a good steward of their finances and their responsibilities? So anyway, this is my tangent. I'm gonna get off of it, because I can just sit here and go on and on forever on these things. But it's only because I'm so passionate about this stuff. I'm so passionate about getting people to realize that they can live a better life. Getting you to realize that you can raise your standard of living. You can raise your quality of life. You only need to make a few little changes, And in the compound effect, again, I've mentioned the compound effect before. The compound effect will pay you dividends down the road in just small little changes to your life every single day. So, all right, we're getting off this time. Thank you so much for joining us. Apparently, I bored him to sleep. But thank you so much for joining me on this tangent. Go ahead and like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of these in the future. These will be happening twice a week coming up, typically on Tuesdays and on Fridays, unless the internet objects. And yeah, I am enjoying these sit downs with you, and I'm encouraging you along and hearing about how these things help you, how this advice helps you, and Ivan enjoys them as well. So with that, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on the next one. From my flock, herd, heart, pack. I forgot the pack in there. From my flock, herd, pack, and heart to yours. We will see you next time. God bless. Bye-bye.